At a time where parity is on the line, Damien, and we're starting the Enduro Cup season, which is quite exciting. We're going to discuss the AirTouch 500 this weekend.
Yes, we do. And it's going to be maybe a bit cooler because the air conditioning will be on, maybe. The weather's not looking too hot. Normally Adelaide's either baking hot or nothing. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. We're at the Bend, which is not always the best track to watch a motorsport event at. Definitely great to drive around. Yes. Ooh. Everyone I know that's driven there, including yourself, always talks about how great it is to drive. It's just, I'm not sure how we're going to go and get through an entire 500 at that event. So, fingers crossed. We'll be good.
It'll be fine, Damien. It's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to it. But with parity on the line, I think we need to discuss the fact that Ford are going to drop this round. So the sandbags will be in the boot. They'll slow it right down just to get the upgrades for Bathurst so they can win.
Yep. It is a concern because the last kind of visits to the Bend in prior years have been exceptionally good for Fords. So, we would not want any of that parity discussion to kind of be impacted by this. And so, I wonder how it's going to pan out, mate. I really do. I'm just hoping it's going to be a little bit balanced. Maybe the 888 cars in third or fourth or something, and just balance it out a little bit. Yeah,
I'm sure it will. Look, the last time we were there, Brody Kostecki obviously won in the Camaro when he had all that horsepower advantage, as he rightly says now. You know, he was much faster. Well, not much faster. He was hounded by Cam Waters, I believe, and I think young Randall had the pole the last time we were there. So
Randall loves the Bend. He's very good there. So
he is. I've raced against him at the Bend. It's great.
Yeah,
just not in the supercar.
Did he beat you?
I have no idea. I got a cup.
I think so. Nice.
No. So the question is, should Ford throw it out the window, Damien? I mean, should they just let it go? Let 888 drive off into the distance and then cry me a river like Lando Norris and get the upgrades.
Maybe we need a bit of the papaya rules to help us out here. Look, you wouldn't want them to throw it, but I definitely don't want, as much as I'd love to see it, I don't want the top 6 all being Mustangs because it'll absolutely destroy our Bathurst, and then we're going to have another boring ass Bathurst again. So yeah, I'm hoping the powers that be don't or aren't relying on things this weekend. If they are going to make changes, there's rumors, whispers that things might be happening. I'm hoping that if that's all for Bathurst and not for the Bend, and that this kind of just plays out and Bathurst is its own little isolated parity discussion.
Yeah, look, I'm sure it won't be. But I think hopefully, I don't think it's going to be a Ford-dominated track. This is the first time we've been back since we've been to the wind tunnel and everything else. So I think it should be a little bit more balanced this time around. But I will be interested to see, because, I mean, the other thing that with these types of races is that the co-driver makes up a big difference in how these play out. So, it'll be interesting to see. And with the likes of Mark Winterbottom with Cam Waters, for instance, that should be a very strong lineup. And you wouldn't be surprised if they did end up winning. But, Anywho, we can move on to that. So, the other thing that we got to talk on is the safety car procedure, which has been rectified. It's fixed. We are on. It's the perfect solution to the problem we never had, and it's not going to cause a pile up, and people aren't going to die.
I'm just going to cut you off. I'm going to say well done if you even understood what they're trying to frickin' achieve, because what a mess.
No, it's simple.
What a mess. You got drivers all confused. They're like trying to understand it. They go, "Oh, well, I think I can speed, you know, in a safe manner. I can speed until this point of the track, and then I've got to go really slow with my pit limiter on, and then I can speed again on the other side of it."
That's after the initial. That's once the pit lane's open.
All right, you tell me, take me through what is the new procedure that they have proposed to ruin safety cars. Sorry, go.
Right. The procedure is very, very simple, Damien. It's very easy to follow. It's
pen and paper. Yep.
Yeah. Yellow flag comes out. Safety car is called. Right. You have 15 seconds to get down to your 80-kilometer-hour limit. Right.
Okay.
So
same. Yep.
Same. Right. At that point, pit lane closed. They cruise around at 80 kilometers an hour while they, pick up the leader, essentially, right? So everything's okay and they're going along. At that point, once they know that that's all okay, they'll then release that 80-kilometer-hour limit everywhere bar where the incident is. So you're going to be able to speed all the way up, flat chat, 160, 200, 300 kilometers an hour. It's fine. Right up until the point that you need to be doing 80 as you go past the incident. But, they'll obviously determine where that is and where you need to be at 80, right? So then you'll be flat stick having someone ram up your ass because they haven't seen the fact that that's where the actual incident is. And we won't have an extra accident. And then eventually they'll all get behind the safety car where they'll then open up the pit lane and everyone can go in and do their pit stops, right? While it's all getting cleaned up.
Yep.
And then they'll come back out. They'll get behind they'll be able to speed still, so they can speed all the way until the incident zone is still to catch up, right? And then they'll get to the back of the safety car. Theoretically, everything's been cleared and nobody else has crashed. And then we get underway. So what's hard about that?
Mate, that seems like it's longer than the freaking race. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. It's a monumental fuck up. If you couldn't tell I was being sarcastic, it is a fuck up. Basically, all they needed to do was get rid of the 80-kilometer-hour thing, ensure that there's a time limit between, let's say, the first sector. So if it's in the first sector, that sector is no faster than this time. And, they have to manage that on their data and be careful and everything else. And then it's released everywhere else. And then they would have all lined up. They can close pit lane. Once everyone's behind, open it, let everyone go. And then it's all done. It's just, I don't know. I just think NASCAR's systems are so much better for this shit. And we should just be implementing that. Same with the churns. It just all need, let's simplify everything. I'm sick of this overcomplicated safety measures. We don't fucking care. If someone dies, they die. Install that caption from Rocky. If he dies, he dies. Right? Honestly, it's just I don't even know if you saw that. And I'm tangenting, but even in NASCAR, there was this moment where Zilich won his championship and he slid across the line, and there was a photographer there taking photos, at the on track, and it was a little close. It wasn't that close, but it was a little close, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, why is he on the track?" I'm like, "Well, he's trying to get a fucking photo, you idiot." That's what he's doing. He can move. He knows what he's doing, or she, whichever. Right? They're fine. Don't stress. Safety is fine. It's all okay. Calm your farm.
Okay, you stepped off your soapbox now?
Maybe.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's something between absolute nanny state and you die. There's got to be some sort of pretty basic stuff between that too.
We had it!
I think before we did all of this other stuff, we had that. You had to be visibly slow through the dangerous sector, and then everywhere else you go hard, and within reason. We don't want 100%. When it's under a full course yellow, but it's pretty easy. The data shows everything, so address it. Like, I don't understand. We're chasing a ghost of a problem. Like, we don't need to fix it. We had the solution.
If you close, the only thing they should have done, in my opinion, is close the pit lane. Yep. If you close the pit lane, nobody's racing to anything. They're racing to the back of the safety car. It doesn't matter, right? So they're going to be careful. It takes away all that, possibility of something going wrong. It eliminates everything. That's all you had to do. Just close the pit lane until everyone was formed behind the safety car and open it up and let it go. And then that moves on into like what I want to also talk about, which is the churns. If we had the churns and stuff, we wouldn't have to have all these booms and useless crap around that stops the amount of people we can have in pit lane. We could actually probably do double stacking with 2 groups of pit guys and just get it. There just needs to be a little bit more foresight into how this runs. If NASCAR can fit 55 freaking cars into the tiniest pit lane you've ever freaking seen, we can do it. Yeah. It's a possibility, right?
Yeah, this is Australia, mate. We're way too sanctioned at this point. We'll just never, unfortunately, get back to that stage, as much as it's a disappointment. But I would prefer to see the churns. I think they've been a big success, and it does add that element, another dynamic, whereas going back to the Bowser stuff is going to be a little more sanitized and boring.
What's the literage of those? Are they like 30 litres or something?
Yeah, I think they're 20 or 30 litres, and I think for weight, you're going to be pretty much capped at that, right? So,
how good would it be, like, seeing 2 people, like, one in, one out, another one in, just to get it right? Or even in Enduros, just have the old style 2-filler situation, like
shank them in.
Shank them in. Like, and it just, I don't know, it just brings a little jeopardy, a little bit of spectacle. It just looks better. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just old school and I see things through the older lens and say, that was a better time. But it does feel like it was a better time because right now it's shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I really can't remember the last time we had like a major issue, like with an injury or something unsafe from the pit stop scenarios, the yellow, full course yellow. Like we just, that's why I'm saying we're chasing ghosts. I don't think we're solving any problem. We're solving for something we think might, in the worst case scenario, eventuate, which you can't really plan for. So, yeah.
No, I mean,
bring on the mayhem. Let's go.
Bring on the mayhem. Fight it out.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is this really an endurance race? Like 500 kilometers. I did a 300 kilometer race at Winton recently.
Yep.
And I did 69 of the 100 laps there.
Yep.
I am unfit. I do not go out to the gym. I am fat. And I made it without water, without a cool suit or anything, right? For that entire leg.
Yep.
Is it really an endurance race to do 500 Ks around the bend? I don't think it is. Even 1,000 Ks at Bathurst. We need to re-look at these because that worked for 1969 when the cars broke down and, it was a battle of attrition because you weren't just, hustling the car. You were fighting to keep yourself stuck in the seat because you got a lap sash belt, right? These guys are bolted in. Then they're working, but they're not working anywhere near as hard as they need to, in my opinion, which is why we don't see mistakes. It's why, we need to make this more difficult somehow. It needs to be longer. It needs to be more strenuous on the cars, more strenuous on the drivers. Maybe take their cool suits away. Maybe. I don't know. Just remove it. Or maybe take their drink away. See if they pass out. Maybe don't do that. That's a safety thing. But you know what I mean, right? Like
too far.
Then there's a balance. It's that die thing.
Yeah.
but we need something to make this an actual challenge because, as Scott Price said, it's basically a sprint race for the co-drivers and then a normal race for the others.
Yeah, and I think when you look at it, you're sharing drivers, the endurance part is really not there anymore. And like like Bathurst in particular, 500 Ks is not really. I know they split it up over 2 races, but they do that, every weekend they race as a minimum. Sometimes it's more. We're doing 440s and stuff. The 1000, that was why last year in particular was so boring, is because there wasn't anything happening. There was no real challenge the Camaro was going to win. The breakdowns or the incidents, nothing was really happening, because they are very reliable and the drivers are very fit. And so when you split that between the two, you're basically just running these sprint laps, basically sessions. Yeah.
And it's just not a challenge anymore.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Winton is more physical than the Bend. Which is strange to say, and I can't make that comment because I've done it. Both.
You've done both.
But yeah, it is. The Bend is actually strangely non-physical, so you can get away with running really long and really not feel it. I know these guys are getting much more G-forces than I am in what I'm racing, but they are so much more fit than I am that it negates it.
Yeah, except maybe Kostecki or Fat Chaz. I don't know. We'll see.
Fat Chaz is fast Chaz.
Correct.
So good. All right, let's get into the weekend, mate, because they're probably going, what the hell are these two yabbering about?
Yabbering. Well, it is the AirTouch 500, as we said, which is at Shell V-Power Motorsport Park, which is... Oh, yes, he's air touching. I like it. Which is the Bend, obviously in Tailem Bend. As I said, the weather, there is some small chances of maybe some rain, but basically it's going to be 70 degrees on Friday, 20 on Saturday, 22 on Sunday, and it's always going to be a bit overcast but sunny. So nothing out of the ordinary.
Good for the Mustangs.
Yes, it is, because less heat is... But again, we don't want that, do we?
No.
Sandbag. All right. On Friday, we've got 3 sessions, mate. There is the second one will be a co-driver only, so that might be the one to watch with a bit more chaos. On Saturday, we've got 2 practice sessions. The very first one is the co-driver, and then there's another one. And then we've got qualifying and the top 10 shootout. Then on Sunday, we have a warm-up before the race, which is interesting. I remember someone was saying it. We might have mentioned it in the past, but I'd forgotten about it until I read it again. I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. And so that warm-up, I believe, I'm just going to double-check now because I think the warm-up is pretty brief. 20 minutes. So basically enough to kind of make sure the car's in good shape. The drivers, they do probably their last little practice of driver changeover, things like that. And then, then the race kicks off in the afternoon for 102 laps. So there we go.
102 laps.
Yeah.
That's just not enough.
He wants more.
I want more. Give me more. We pay enough. Fucking give me more.
But you don't want more of last year's Bathurst though. That was about 750k too many, right? Yeah, it doesn't feel like a lot, but yeah, I guess that is where it's at. And it is around the circuit that is they've got this 4.9 kilometer track. So it's not the full big one at 7 kilometers or whatever that is. I can't remember what the big one is about that.
The GT circuit, it's 7.77, I think.
Yeah. Kilometers. So this one's basically 5 kilometers. So there you go.
It's the international circuit. It's good fun.
That's it. International circuit. That was the one I was looking for. They didn't have it listed, but that's the one.
Yep.
And so I guess now would be a good time for us to kind of go through where we think all the driver pairings. So we're going to go through each the driver pairings and just sort of give a bit of a rating from 1 to 5. And 5, I guess, being someone we think is in with the best shot and should basically get a result. Yep. And to 1 is no chance. Okay, maybe you get lucky, but very unlikely. So that's
you'll be
how
at the
we're
back.
going to grade it. All right.
All right.
All right.
So the very first team, and I suppose couple driver lineup,
pairing.
We'll start with Matt Stone Racing and Cameron Crick and Aaron Seaton making his return to the sport, which is cool to see.
Yes.
I don't think these guys have got much, unfortunately, but I'm gonna give them a chance of 2. So I think they could have a solid outing, and a solid outing for them is in the 20. That's how I feel, but I think they'll probably be 19th, 18th, somewhere around there by the end of the race. What about you, Davo?
Yeah, I'm the same. I guess it's a wildcard entry. It's had mixed results throughout the year as they've run that car, and I've got them down as a 2 as well. I think if they have a good outing, I agree. I think if they have a sensational day, they're somewhere around the 10. If they're in the 10, that's
that'd be mega.
All ducks have lined up and fallen into place with these wildcards. But I just think obviously Aaron's return, he's got to get himself up to speed, and Cameron Crick had some mixed results, so that's where I've got them at a 2.
And also remembering that Aaron, I don't think has driven the Gen 3 equipment, so I think all his experience is based on the Gen 2 cars.
Super 2 stuff. So
so it would be a big change for him. And moving on to a Tickford Racing wildcard entry of Rylan Gray and Lucky Dalton, who both of them have had pretty good runs when they came in earlier in the year. I'm giving them a 2. I still don't see it. It's like the old fourth Tickford car type situation. It just, that car sort of gets left behind.
Yeah, look, I think it's a great initiative. It's given these young guys the opportunity throughout the year, and now, in these next 2 events is the time for them to kind of really just show a nice, solid performance. I've got them down as a 2, and I think that, again, any of these sort of wild cards, if they're pushing towards that top 10, it'll be sensational outing. So, I think the key for these boys is the experience, and wish them the best of luck, because I think they've set themselves up so far throughout the year as getting good lap times and getting comfortable with the car. So
You're telling me they're going to get pole. Got it.
Got it.
All right, and moving on to the Supercheap Auto and the last wild card of the meeting. We know this because it's Craig Lowndes and a very impressive Zach Bates, who had a fairly good introduction to the series, we'll say, at Queensland Raceway.
Yes.
Even though he got bashed out of the way by Cam Hill. I think he did a pretty good job. I'm going to give him a 3. I think this car, 888, as annoying as it is, do a really good car, even if it's a third fucking car. So this car will probably hunt around the top 10 and piss me off and finish top 6 or something like that.
They've got every chance of being that car, correct? Zach Bates has been pretty, his outing was really good, really strong, even despite that little hiccup in that race. And Craig, we know, will, he'll just always perform at a level that needs to be done. I've got them at a 3, but I guess, in terms of expectations, I sort of see them in that 15 to 10 is a reasonable outing, and pushing into the 10 would be still a great result. So that's where I've got them too.
Very good. All right, back into the main group now. So this is where it gets interesting. So Blanchard Racing entry of Aaron Cameron and Zach Best making his return to the main game. Since the last time he was at the Bend, Damien, of which he had pole position.
Yeah, if you can believe it. I was remembering back going, oh, that's right. He had extra tires because he was a rookie and just blasted his way through. It was sensational. But look, I'm putting him down as a 2. I just sort of feel that second car still hasn't really got or cut through to the right level. I think, again, this is sort of they're pushing towards the 10. They'll have a good day, but I don't really see them having much of a result.
Yeah, okay. I'm actually going to back him in a little bit harder than that. I'm giving him a 3, only because I think Aaron's been making steady progress in that car. And last year, when he teamed up with Aaron Love, he was actually gapping Love in terms of time when he was in the car. So I think with Zach in there as well, Zach's not slow. There's apparently other things that we don't know about that prevent him from getting into the main game. But at his best, he's actually a freaking quick driver. So yes, I think these two lined up, if they get the car in a window that's relatively good, that 15 to 10 is a real possibility for them. So I wish them luck, because I think it's a really good opportunity for Zach as well. And I really like to see Aaron get a little bit more luck on his side, because he's been caught up in a few things going along. He has. All right, so the next one, Damien, we're sticking with Blanchard Racing. That's the James Courtney and Jack Perkins, fresh from his American trip that he spun off while in a podium position.
Heartbreak. But yes.
How do you think they're going to go?
Kid?
He's a kid.
You're talking about the pension. This is the pensioner's car. This is the pensioner's car, James and Jack. And almost everyone's younger than me, apart from, I think, Lounsey.
Lousey's got covered.
Look, I've put them in as a 3 because the experience they share, that car has been, or that team have been on the improve. And I just feel like this is always the type of event where James and Jack could just snag a little bit of a better result into the top 10, I think, if everything goes their way. So, yeah, I've got them down at a 3.
Very good. Based on the fact that, James doesn't always have the best of luck and Jack just seems to have no luck at all, I've given them a 2. Not because I want to see them go badly, but but I just feel like they're just always caught up in mayhem and unfortunate incidents. So, look, I hope you guys go well. I actually think if all goes well, they're probably more a 3, even a potential 4, because we know that James, when he likes a place and gets the car in the right spot, can annoy the crap out of the top 10. So, hopefully they go well. But I think, I don't know, something's about it that says it's going to be a 2. Erebus Motorsport, Damien, Cooper and Job Stewart's.
The young Erebus Academy driver. I think that's what they call them, the Erebus Academy. It's been a tough year for Erebus as a whole, and Cooper has not had the best year either. And I just sort of feel like this one, I've got them at a 1. I just sort of feel like I think they've got potential to be better at Bathurst once they kind of both get settled in. But I'm not feeling like they're going to have a very good result at all. So I put them at a very tough 1.
That's tough. Look, I don't know. I'll confess, I don't know a lot about Job. So I can't really say whether he's going to go well or not. But Cooper's been in the thick of it for majority of the year. He's shown some glimpses of speed, but he's also shown other things as well. So I've given him a 2 because I think if the car gets in the window, Erebus is still quick. But it is all about getting that car in the window. I still feel like these guys are at the back of the teens, like near the 20. Not really up and about fighting for anything. So what about the teammate of Jack LeBrock and Jared Hughes? Again, Jared Hughes, not somebody I particularly know much about.
Yeah, he's another like a Super 2 driver, young bloke. I think both of them are like 21 or something doing Super 2. Look, I've put them down at a 2. I just think Jack has just had a bit of or a better ability to get the car in the right spots at the right time. I don't feel like, as I said, Erebus are going to trouble too many people. I think Bathurst is different, but I think these guys, they'll be a good outcome is around the 10, but I sort of feel they'll be in the back half of the grid.
Yeah, no, that's probably fair. I've also given them a 2. Again, yeah, Erebus's year has been shaky at best.
PremiAir.
Yeah, nothing wrong with PremiAir. You see their livery? I should put that up over the top. That
Here
actually
it
looks pretty
is.
good. And here it is.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. Yeah,
You
I
don't
can
like
see the
it?
throwback to HRT, and I'm not sure they've nailed it for me.
Did you see Tander's comment underneath?
No, what did he say?
He literally turned around and he went, I think I've got some old merch that I can send you that you can still wear.
Nice.
Well played, Garth. Well
Yes.
played.
Well,
Yes.
the first one is Richie Stanaway and young Nash Morris.
Interesting.
It
Interesting.
is.
I rate Nash. I think he's actually got a little bit of potential, unlike his old man. Sorry, that's a bit rough.
Yeah, drive-by.
Look, I'm referring back to the Big Kev days when Paul was an absolute twat.
Yes.
He can obviously drive, but sometimes he just loses his head. But Nash seems to be a little bit better than that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys go. Actually, Richie, particularly at Bathurst, I think will be mega, like he always is. Richie is very much like Murph. You know, particular tracks flies, particular tracks does not show up. So, here I'm giving him a 2. I think they'll build their way into this.
Yeah, I've put them at a 3. I just feel like Richie, like Nash has been pretty solid, so I'd expect him to be a nice, solid co-driver. And Richie is always better at the longer races. He just seems to get there. Definitely track dependent, but having a look at his results at at the Bend, it's a bit tough to sort of say, but I still feel like the Enduros play out well for him, so I've got him at a 3.
Very good. James Golding and David Russell is the next one, the other PremiAir entry. I've gone a 2. D. Russ is actually pretty good at the long distance stuff. He's pretty quick. James has lost his way. So he had a couple of altercations early on and then disappeared off the face of the planet and hasn't really found a way back. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've got them at a 2. I see they're going to probably struggle again.
Yep, me too. I've got them at the same. I've scored them a 2. Jimmy has lost his way. I'm not sure. Dave Russell, he's always a champ. He'll be a solid co-driver for them. But yeah, I'm not sure. Since the whole homologation thing dropping off, PremiAir have really struggled. So I'm not expecting too much from them. Righto, Matt Stone Racing, MSR. Cameron and Cameron Hill and Cameron McLeod, the first entry. What do you think, mate?
I actually think this will be a fairly good duo. I've given them a 3 only because it all depends on how much speed is in that car. We know that Cam Hill can definitely be toward the front. He's definitely got enough pace, and I reckon Cam McLeod's probably not half bad either. I'm really interested to see how he goes, but I suppose I've been a bit careful and gone with the 3 on this rather than saying that they should be in the 10, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make the 10.
Yeah, I feel really, really very similar to you, where I feel like at their best they're going to have a great outing, and then sometimes Cameron Hill has just been a bit missing in action. Started strong, has dropped away a little bit, and I feel the sort of same. So I've given him a 3, and I've given a 3 for the other car as well, the Nick Percat and Tim Slade, because I feel the same about them. Potential could be, they could win it. Like they have that potential to do it, but just don't have that confidence with them at the moment with where they're at.
But particularly don't have that confidence with Nick Percat. He's really struggled this year. Other than that one showing at the AGP, something's gone terribly amiss within the team with these two. I'm not entirely sure what's unfolded, but it does sound like both of them are on their way out of the team. So, I've got a 3 as well with you. And again, if MSR hit their straps, that car could be in the 10 very clearly, and Tim Slade's no slowpoke. So, they could be, the dark horses of the race, really. But I guess we'll just wait and see. Team 18.
Team 18.
Daffy Duck Reynolds and the lethal Holdsworth. Moving on from WAU into his old team that he once said that he'd never race for again.
Which was very, well, I won't say hilarious, but yeah, just like...
Interesting.
Just shows you where there's money, it's never a no.
Finds a way.
Yeah. Look, I'm not feeling that confident. Dave Reynolds has been struggling. He's had a couple of better outings the last round, but I just sort of feel like Lee hasn't really been doing a lot of driving, and Davey has just not really been on it. So I put them at a 3. I do realise that's probably a little harsh, but I just don't see, I'm just not confident in that side of the garage.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree. I'm not entirely confident, and I teetered on your 3, but I ended up on a 4. The reason I ended up on a 4 is because if that car does hit its window, we know what Daffy's like. When the car's right and he's confident in it, he's suddenly up the front. And it should be a top 10 car, really, because they're definitely getting some insights and some help, even if they say they're not. So, yeah, I've got them at a 4. I think they should be in the 10. Would I be surprised if they're not? No, but I think they should be there. And the same goes for the other car, which is Anton De Pasquale and Harry Jones. Harry Jones is killing it in the Carrera Cup. These are a different beast, but
yes,
I still think he's more than competent. I've given him a 4, or that car a 4 as well.
Yeah, I chose a 4, and he's a little bit of a disclaimer because I think Anton is he is in the window at the moment, so I feel like he will be strong. But Harry is an unknown. He's an awesome driver, young up and coming, but he hasn't, as you say, done really any work competitively, at least. He's done some testing, of course, but he's got to get his head around it. Now, having said that, he does jumped into some of the old. His dad owns one of the old HRT cars. He's got good experience with sort of feeling what the bigger cars can do with the more horsepower, and I think that should serve him well. And this should be a good, solid outing for them inside the 10. So, I've given them 4.
Very good, very good. All right, so moving on to the Toyota-bound Brad Jones Racing.
This is a mixed bag, yes.
It is a bit of a mixed bag. So Jackson Evans is teaming up with ex-SCT driver Jack Smith, who Scott McLaughlin once said was a giant roadblock. I've given them a 2.
2.
I don't rate Jack Smith that highly, but by the end of his campaign, he was starting to find some pace. Yep. I think Jackson has been pretty good this year. He's just had a run of shit luck. So I think these guys could potentially sneakily challenge at the back end of the 10 on a really good day, but I do feel like they're that 15 to 20 bracket, so I've given them a 2.
Yeah, I feel a little more harsh. Jackson had such a good little window for a few races and then just has not had any luck at all. And I just sort of feel like this one is probably going to be a tough event for him. I sort of feel like he might come right for Bathurst and they'll get the pairing a little better and in sync. But I've given them a 1. I don't see them, like if they're in the top half, of the field, I think that's a great outcome for them. And it's no reflection on Jackson's ability, etc. He's just I don't know, he just has no luck at the moment. So
yeah, no, I tend to agree. He's ever since Darwin, where he got fenced, he's been in the wars. The second version of that car, which is the Macaulay Jones and Jordan boys, returning boys into the category. Again, I've got a 2. I sort of see them similar to Jackson and Jack, which is probably unfair to Jackson and Jack, really, because Macaulay is definitely the weaker driver. But I give them a 2 because, luck might get them a little bit further up. What say you?
I've given them a 1. I think I did teet with the idea of pushing Jackson Evans up to a 2 because when I rated, obviously, Macaulay, I agree. I think that definitely the weaker of the drivers. Jordan Boys has had a bit of experience with these cars. I think he'll be pretty solid. Who knows, maybe even outshine a little bit. But, yeah, it just hasn't been a great outing at all for Macaulay. So I don't expect him, to trouble the top half of the scoreboard.
Yes. Bryce Forward. Bryce Forward and Brad Vaughan. I'm struggling with these guys. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it. Okay. Vaughan is a good driver.
Yep.
And Forward is a good driver as well. They get that car right, he's in the 10. I'm going to give him a 3. They're not going to win it, but I'm going to give him a 3. They're going to be somewhere around that 10.
Okay. I've given him a 2 because I just feel like Bryce has fallen away. Had that small little window where I think he was really fighting for his drive, for his seat or the next seat available, and he was showing some really great results, and then just has dropped to nothing. So, I don't think he's going to have that much luck. So I've given him a 2. Brad's a great driver. It'll be a good co-driver and good experience for him to get some more seat time because he's definitely one of those potentials, that next band of drivers to come up, So, yes. Yeah. Now, the last of the Brad Jones cars, mate. So,
the fourth
Andre and Declan.
Returning Declan Fraser.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? I'll be watching that one, see how it goes. I'm not really sure, to be honest, on how he's going to go. Yeah,
I rate Fraser.
Potential. Yeah. He's
I think he got a rough end of the stick and he got booted out. And, we've had the discussion about Brock Feeney. Had he been in any other team, he would have been out the door. And I think Fraser is similar.
Yeah. So how has that impacted him? Like that's what I'm a bit concerned about.
Yeah, it is hard. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, Andre is obviously, I think, is about to get some form back. I think he likes the bend from memory. He's done all right there in the past. I've got him in as a 3, just for the sake of, I think good potential. And if they're around that 10, I think they're doing really well. Inside the 10, they've had an outstanding day.
I'd agree with that. I think Andre had a win there a couple of years back before Gen 3 when it was wet. So, I've given him a 3. I, again, like the Ford car, I think they can be in and around that 10 if they get it right. But it all falls on getting the car into a comfortable position for both drivers and still producing speed. So, yeah. All right, that's the Brad Jones, guys. Now let's move on to Shell V-Power. Damien, this one could be interesting. I'm struggling. So the first car we're going to do is Will Davo versus and Tony D'Alberto, not versus. It's his co-driver. I'm giving him a 2. One, because Will has kind of been struggling hard. I wouldn't be surprised if this car's at the back of the field, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they can get it in the 10. This could be the heaviest fluctuating a car, but I'm giving him a 2 because I just have no faith in Wilbur anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Look, I have given him a 3 because I think they're in a car that, should it be in the window, should be there, but definitely, Will is really struggling at the moment, I feel. Just not getting the best out of himself for the car, and has these small moments where he kind of is up there with Brody, but then something happens, whether it's a bit of unlucky or he does something wrong and then misses out on that last quali bit. So I've got him at a 3. I just hope for his sake he can be somewhere around where Brody is, and then that would be a good weekend.
I'd agree with that, but I also think that Tony's probably getting long in the tooth in that seat as well. I don't think he's been particularly fast for the last few years. All right, onto the second car, which is Brody Kostecki and Todd Hazelwood returning. Now, Hazelwood has been driving very well in the Trans Am series. Even being able to take a week out and still sort of clinch things. So, I've gone a 4, which is probably just cautious.
Soft.
I wanted to go a 5 because I do think they're a contender. But I've got a 4 because the team just hasn't hit the straps that I was hoping they would hit by now.
Yep.
So
agree.
4 for me. What do you got?
I was in the same thought pattern where I really feel like the DJR team have struggled, and I'm not sure how as a team they're going to go. But Brody does love this track, and if it does turn into a bit more of a Mustang track, I've put him down as a 5 because I think he loves the longer events. It's him and Todd have gelled really well. Todd has been doing all the sorts of driving. I think he'll be sharp as anything. And I think they're definitely one of the contenders to take it out. So I've got them at a 5.
Very good. Very good. On to the team that we love and hate and love and hate and love and hate.
Heartbreak.
Walker and Andretti United. The Smoky for me. Ryan Wood and Jaden Ojeda. I have them at a 5. They topped the times at the Queensland test. Jaden is exceptionally fast, faster than most give him credit for.
Yep.
Does a lot of GT stuff, is with, I think it's Merck there. Is highly accredited, and I just feel like Ryan Magic and Jaden backing him up with a Sterling drive, they are red hot contenders to take this out.
Yep. I kind of feel the same. I just feel like WAU and both their drivers have just missed that last little percent to deliver on some of their, Wood's been fast, has been up there in so many races and not converted. Stuff's gone wrong, outside of control, inside of his control. True. And so, for both of the WAU cars, I sort of feel like from a team perspective, I'm not sure they're focused enough to get the ride out of the car. And so I've got them at a 4, but I would not be surprised if he takes out and wins it. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And I've given a 4 for Chaz and Fabian because of the same thing. I think Ryan's been faster, has been beating Chaz. And Jaden is real quick. It'd be interesting to see. Fabs has been doing a bit of Porsche stuff, and I'm just not sure where he's going to be at, whether he's at the end of his bell curve of being quite a good co-driver. I think he's always going to be very solid. Just not sure if he's going to be at that extra edge. So I've given both the WAU drivers 4.
All right. Yeah, Fabs and Chaz I've given a 4 as well. I want to get excited about that duo, but I don't think Fabs has it anymore. So I'm a bit worried about that. If Chaz is in the right mindset and is fat Chaz, then maybe. But we will wait and see. I struggle to see him really contending because he's just been shy of the mark, like just there or thereabouts, but not right there. And then moving ahead to Tickford Racing.
Tickford at the Bend. Tickford at the Bend.
I know, but Tickford of late has been horrendous and horrific. Thomas Randall and James Moffat. James has lost it. I think Randall will get pole, and I think James will fuck it up. I've given him a 4 because if he doesn't fuck it up, they should be there or thereabouts. But honestly, I'm predicting Moff will put it in the sand at some point.
Wow. Okay. Did not know that. He's been doing really well. He's been driving in the Trans Am. I think he had a bit of a crash, I think, last time out. But, you know, he's been keeping pretty sharp. Randall loves the Bend.
He does.
Seems to always go pretty well there. He just has to convert. You're right. The problem we have is, can Tickford turn up with a really decent car for them? But I feel like it's one to, I think, bank as a possibility. So I've got him at a 5. I just feel like it could be that event that helps him. And he's also fighting in that top 10, right? So I think it's now or never. Tom, now or never.
He's going to have to start showing it soon.
Yep.
I love Tommy Randall. He's a great guy. Always has time for you in the pit lane if you ever come across him. Yep. So I wish him all the best. I really do. If he could get a win, that'd be fucking magic. All right, the other car, Cam Waters and Mark Winterbottom, Frosty Bum back in a Ford. Fuck yes. Come on, buddy. I'm giving him a 5 because Tickford, get your shit together, and if you do, this car should win. I'm like this is this is my pick for both Bathurst and here really. This car, I want to see Frosty get another win. I want to see Cam get the win. I'm backing him in. Get it done. Don't
Me too.
Mess it up.
They've got to be a 5. It's a massively strong pairing. Frosty is in a good zone. Cam's been where the car has been able to. He's been fast. And I think endurance racing, he likes it here at the Bend. As I said, Tickford's normally pretty good. So lock him into the 5 and got to be one of the top 3 for sure.
Oh, they're going to win. All right, on to Penrite Racing. We have Kai Allen and Dale Wood, who isn't a bad steerer. This car, I think it's just going to lack a little bit of experience from Kai.
Yeah.
So I think realistically, I've given him a 2. The car should be a 4. But I just don't see it, barring strategy calls. I'm not sure it's going to get there, but could be wrong. I do wish them well. I hope they go well, but yeah, I'm going a 2 with those guys.
Yeah, I've picked a 2 as well, just off the back of it's really like, absolutely everything has to be in alignment for him to be having a good weekend. I say 2 because I'm being reasonably harsh on it, but I think if he can get himself into the 10, he's done a great job.
Shit, yeah.
And look, Dale's been around for a long time. He'll be somewhat stable and probably good for Kai, but yeah, I'm just not sure he's got the pace anymore. And so that, will be one to watch, I think, to see how it goes. All right.
Next car.
Matthew Payne and Garth Tander.
That's like a strong pairing.
It is. And I just changed my score too.
The
more I think about it, I had them at a 4, I will say, because I just felt like a really strong pairing, but I'm just not sure on where they're at, Penrite. They could have a blinder or they just MIA, missing in action. But I feel like it's probably time. Matty has been pretty solid at most of these sort of events, and I think a 5 is probably worthwhile because Garth is, starting to, his experience is or frequency in the cars is less, but still pretty solid, I think. So I've given him a 5.
Yeah, I just changed mine as well. I had them at a 4 as well, but I've gone to a 5. I think these guys are just shy of the Cam Waters Winterbottom, like in terms of strength. They are a very good duo, very capable drivers. And Matty is going strength to strength. He didn't have a great run at Queensland from memory, but that was a one-off. I expect him to bounce back pretty hard, and I'm pretty confident he'll like the Bend. So, 5. It'll be nice to see the 6 car and this one also, on the podium together. I think they'll be pretty strong. Well, on to the team that we get frustrated with the most. Red Bull Racing, Red Bull Ampol Red Bull Racing, however the hell they say it. Brock Feeney and Jamie Whincup, the GOATs, the pain in the ass, the guy who had the advantage for the longest period of time. I've given them a 5 because Brock Feeney is on absolute rampage. He's got his aerodynamic system that nobody's found working perfectly. Not even his teammates found it yet. And he's going to be very hard to fucking beat.
Yeah, I agree. I've given them a 5. I just think they are one of the red hots. Jamie, still fast. He's jumping in and out of these cars, and he's
uber competitive.
And Brock is just on a bit of a tear at the moment, just hard to beat, including, his teammate is struggling to find that last little percent to keep up with him. So they're definitely a 5 for me.
Yep. And the last one, which is the Will Brown, our reigning champion, and Scotty Pye. I've given them a 5. I still think they're well within a shot. However, in saying that, they're just probably below. They're probably a 4.5 rather than a 5. I think so. Scotty made the talk in his latest pod that Whincup was basically quicker than him. So I think that makes it really, really difficult for them. But I still think they're a red hot favourite. Just slightly back. It all depends on where Will bloody qualifies that car, I think.
Yeah, and I think I've given him a 4 because I just feel like Scott said that in the pod, and I was just like, oh God. Scott's a good driver, right? We know it, but Will just hasn't had it against his teammate. And whilst I still feel like he's every chance of winning, I just feel like I've got to score him just that little bit less. So that's why I chose a 4.
Fair enough. Well, that would conclude, Damien, our run through of where we think people will go. Who are you picking to win and why?
I'm going to throw a bit of a curvy out there and say Kostecki is going to finally get himself on the board and actually take out an endurance win with a Ford. After all his bitching and moaning about horsepower, and then he's going to have to wear that for Bathurst. So I feel like he's got a good chance. But I mean, I'd have to say, obviously, it'll be more likely between probably Waters and Feeney is a realistic guess for me.
All right, I've got Payne and Tander for the win. I think Penrite will get the right strategy down. And it'll propel them to the front and they'll hold on to get the win. So, I've got Payne and Tander. We've already discussed the other guys. As for the shootout, I've gone for Randall because he loves this joint and I can just see him getting the pole.
Yeah. I feel like Waters will get that pole. I think he'll be fast enough.
Battle of the Tickford boys. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And for a standout performer, I've actually got Reynolds and Holdsworth. I think they'll nab into the 10 and surprise a few. And what about you?
Look, I just get after the last performance, I've gone Lowndes and Bates. I think they will both outshine some of the regular drivers, and
Bates is fast.
yeah, just end up where they probably shouldn't be expected to be, but I think that's where they'll end up. So yeah, that's mine.
I really hope Zach gets picked up by one of the Ford boys, just quietly.
Yes.
All right. So moving on to some off-track topics, we've obviously discussed the PremiAir liveries.
Yes.
But you've got some other news on PremiAir, Damien, that I did not read or hear about.
Yeah, well, pretty hot off the press, but yeah, the rumor or the talk is that PremiAir have lined up Jaden Ojeda and Declan Fraser to run their cars for next year.
Wow.
So they're basically going to be replacing both Golding and Stanaway, potentially. So I think, some good news potentially for some and some bad news for others, because there aren't a lot of spots available, and there seems like we're just in that zone of too many drivers and not enough seats at the moment, because you bring in two freshies, two oldies go out, and there's really not that much of a shuffle left on the deck for other seats. So next year could be red hot for some co-drivers. There could be some really good ones out there.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Okay. And LeBrock we've sort of discussed this previously. LeBrock to MSR, that seems to have firmed up.
Yep, it has. And it also, in place of Cameron Hill, it looks like he's going to replace Forward at BJR.
BJR, yep.
And so, yeah, potentially we've got, I think it's maybe one spot left at BJR to kind of confirm. MSR is, potentially could have a clean deck as well. So 2 new drivers, but maybe just the one. But yeah.
It has a spot available because they haven't announced Courtney's replacement either, have they?
There seems to be a lot of, even that the article I read was talking about that, they've sort of hinted that they would like James to continue on. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, so there's probably one at Blanchard. And then you think about the top end of town, there's really not any movement at all available for any of the other team, any other drivers. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're left with at the moment.
The only top team that I can think of that might change is DJR. They might make a late change on Will somewhere to bring someone else in, but
that is a bit of a whisper. But yeah, I'm not sure whether they'll go through with it.
I really think they missed the boat on Kai Allen. I think Kai will come good next year, and be very fast and towards the front of the field.
It will indeed. But yeah, I think other than that, I think that's really all the news.
Cool.
So,
thanks for hanging in there. Of racing.
Yeah, we're at the Bend, and let's hope it's a little bit exciting.
Another
snooze fest.
Well, the good news is that I'll be probably hungover on the Sunday because I got a wedding on the Saturday night. So, if it's a bad race, I'll sleep.
Yep. Watch out on the socials because Stephen will be blasting because he will be feeling very sorry for himself. And if it's a boring race, he gets a little angry sometimes.
No, I don't. All the time.
Fucking stupid
race. Come on, mate. You're painting me in a bad light.
Just sometimes. All right.
Very good. Well, look, guys, follow us on the socials at the Valve Bounce. You know where it all is. Tick if you like this pod. And don't forget to subscribe and follow on all your socials. Because we are posting regularly and we do want to hear from you. And if you have differing views to us, put them in. I want to know.
We're all good. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you in the next video.
Ciao.
See ya. Bye.